Um, a video about studying for nursing students, for older nursing students. Commenter recently was commented commenter commented that it's harder second time around. Some people are 20-30 years out of this. I fell into that category, and a couple things that I did, which you may or may not be able to do, is ease yourself back into it. Like, take one course to start with, get back into the scheme of things. I mean, it all depends on the school you are in, the professors, the fellow students, your schedule, your preferred method of learning, of course. But it worked well for me because it got my feet back into it, because I still had to work. I mean, I'm sure most of you still have to work. You have to take care of families. I still had to work. I actually worked and went to school and worked another job, actually. And the second job was actually more of an optional thing. I really didn't have to work it, but I worked it. It was my job as a nursing tech. I wanted to do it because it gave me the experience, getting my feet wet work-wise. And also, looking back on it, networking. Maybe subconsciously I was doing that too. It definitely got me the job after graduation. I did. My manager knew who I was, who liked my work ethic. The coworkers I had that were nurses knew who I was going in as a grad nurse then afterwards. So they were fine with that. They were good with me. They liked how I worked as a tech. They liked how they like how I work as a nurse now. Hopefully. Anyhow, so I don't recommend working so much if you don't have to, because it was really tiring on me. I still have family. When I was off, I was helping taking care of the kids. It wasn't that I just sat there on the couch or anything like that. I was doing that too. Despite what people think. But it was hard. It was very difficult, but I had the luxury of taking it one course at a time. Very rarely, I think a couple times I took 2 courses at a time for prereqs and stuff like that. In nursing school, you have no choices. You would do it. And I did nursing school, worked as a tech. That was a bit harder, but thankfully, that was another reason why I took the ADN route, was the program that I was in. ADN work programs typically are more part-timers because they realize you got to work. So they take that into account usually in the course curriculum. Whereas BSN curriculums are more college student, you're doing that. And yeah, you could work part-time and whatever, it's not expected. I was working full-time and then part-time and then going to school. I don't recommend that. It's pretty hard on you, body and mind. Kind of gets you ready for nursing, but still, you have the choice, avoid it. It helped that my main job, I was well compensated, didn't have the financial pressures I do now, because that job is long gone, and now I'm only as a nurse only. But if you ease yourself into it, that will help. Okay, that will definitely help, because it's one. I don't want to say one less thing to think about, because you're still working and family and schooling, but you don't have that tidal wave of pressure of multiple classes and working. Like my daughter right now, she's taking multiple classes, prereq wise, and working part-time, and she's feeling overwhelmed. And she's a very diligent A straight student, straight A student, excuse me. And I had warned her, and she said, "You were right." And I was like, "Yeah," because she also picked difficult courses to take at the same time. Whoops, sorry. And I just realized my AC was on, and it's creating a little background noise that I obviously don't pick up until I start playing the video back and checking that I did break into HIPAA. But that's really something, if you can control that aspect. nuts and bolts wise, suggestion wise, on what to do to help you prepare for nursing school is take advantage of YouTube. And this is what I was not chit-chatting, but, reply to the commenter was, YouTube is such a great asset. And I'm not here tooting just YouTube's horn, because was a Vimeo is another one, and I think there's another one you can use that are all very helpful, very very rich in information and databases that didn't have 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, it was still growing, and nowadays you do a search, you get 100 different providers providing the same topic. And maybe if you want to be very filtering with the knowledge, say 10%, maybe more, depending on the topic at hand. And the providers are really, really good, to the point where I would say, let's say I was searching up, putting in a Foley as an example. You could probably get 100 different creators and videos. 10% are very good and accurate. Maybe 1 out of or 2 out of those will be up to date. And I say that with a caveat because, Bard or whoever, they will change and update their practices. And you should, and, Bard and those guys actually sometimes use Vimeo and Bard and YouTube, to put their own videos. The company instructional videos. Like, let's say we just had an update, and I'm thinking of Foley's is they had an update to it. Guess where the video was? From Bard. It was on YouTube. You may or may not have access to it, though. There's always like locked, behind whatever firewall, or whatever access point. But, I don't believe they were. I don't believe they were locked behind. It was just a link from our system, our organization, to YouTube, to whatever. There was another one for Vimeo to get into their thing. That might be a little bit more behind closed doors, but I think they're opening up more and more. So don't poo-poo these. You can poo-poo my video. My video's crap. My channel's just like rantings from a crazed maniac. But there are other places that are great. Other channels that are rich in resources. Take advantage of those, definitely. I would also suggest recording every lecture you have, if possible, if they give you permission to, because you could play those over and over and over until you're dreaming of it, until you've got that into your mind. Because listening to one time during lecture, not enough. Absolutely not enough. You hear and remember wrong. You have to double check. Now, you're going to have PowerPoint and handouts and chapters, but having the recording helps. There were a couple times we actually argued points on an exam a couple times in my program where it was like, wait a minute, here's a recording. And sometimes the professors would regret giving permission, but this is what we're going by. You told us A and you say it's B in the exam. Here's a recording, and we got the points. Now, it helped that my classmate was an attorney. You're not going to win any arguments with her, especially a bunch of nurses, unless you're also an attorney. And there's a couple others that are attorneys too. But it helps. So definitely record your lectures if allowed, and that way you can listen over and over on your leisure. You're relaxing. Yes, you say that's not what I do for relaxing. Well, guess what? You're in nursing school. You're not going to get to relax. Sorry, this is the way it is until nursing school's done. Once you take your NCLEX and you're finished, then you can relax until you start your job. But this is grown-up world. We're all grown-ups here. This is what you do for your family, for your livelihood. This is work. That's why when you see nurses vacation, they vacation hard. They go wild. They go butt crazy because they're on point all the time. Just like teachers, right? They go crazy. So take that to heart, to say you got to really put in the work and expect to do that. That helps too. If you're saying I need time off and I need to relax a little bit, that's great. You take your time off, but limit it. If you're saying, well, I want to relax more, well, then nursing's not for you. Okay? Because you've got to be able to make that commitment and self-sacrifice. I'd say it as simple as that. I'm talking to grown-ups. Let's talk grown-up, okay? So good luck in that. And, if anybody has questions, I will be more than happy to address them, okay? And I don't mean that paternalistically. I just mean I don't think of every topic. Okay? Good luck.